gentlemen, you can click the button, press the button and the notification bell. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to it, and also like my videos. So we are starting another live channel, live stream currently, and you can see from the topic what you're gonna do. There's a lot of things actually in politics every day, every minute. It's only that we don't have time to do it, but if I get the pleasure of time, I'll be doing so much. I really wish that I just get time for creating to entertain, inform, enlighten, and educate. So guys, we've had a lot of stuff out there. I don't know whether to start with NATEMBEYA or whether to start with SIFUNA or even Gachagua or Ruto, whichever. You know, but before we do that, let's just listen to this speech.
Tanzania celebrating when we regained our independence, and many of us can, or Algeria, or Kenya, or Tanzania, celebrating when we regained our independence, and many of us can remember the words that they spoke and the promises that they made. If it was in Nigeria here, you can remember the immortal words about what they would do to Nigeria of Nnamdi Azikiwe. You can remember those words. You can remember the words of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. You can remember the promises he made. You can remember the erudite words of the Sultan of Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello, and the promises he made, and many others. When they spoke then, those who are young saw in them the similitude of Moses in the Bible. They thought of their leaders and saw their leaders as messiahs who would bedazzle latter-day pharaohs with miracles, who would liberate them from the Egypt of poverty and want, who would cause pillars of fire to stand between them and sorrow and want, who would part the Red Seas of tribalism and ethnicity, who in times of hunger would summon manna and quail from heaven. That is what they thought of their leaders, messiahs. But today, permit me to say, in many African countries...
All right, so before we continue listening to Pierre Lumumba, you can actually understand that he's directing his wrath, or rather speech, towards the Kenyan politicians or even the rest of Africa. Guys, if you've been into politics and you followed the political leaders, the promises they give, the routes they use, the channels they use to get to us and grab our votes are so many. There have been gunny backs and canny bangs, you know, talk of the sly individuals, opportunistic, selfish, egocentric. That is what our leaders have been. They'll come with the Bible, they'll come with the prayers, they'll come with contributions in the church, and all of us unfortunately listen and are swayed by our hearts, and we believe that the waters, the dirty waters, are going to be turned into clean waters and we'll have a safe haven. That is the unfortunate state of Kenya and the rest of Africa. No wonder you are seeing what's happening in Angola. Today, I hope you saw the demonstrations. I did a reaction on it during the day. No wonder you've seen what has happened in Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire. You've seen what has happened in Togo. You've actually seen what has happened in South Africa. You've heard what happened in Uganda and the rest of African countries. How long will we ail from this disease? Whereby we continue listening to the leaders during campaigns, they fool us even when we know them deeply. They come and preach to us and say they are the next Messiah who are going to save us, and we listen to them. Sometimes even we have oppositional parties that also come in the masquerade of saviors, and they baptize themselves names in relation to the Bible, and we listen to them. Unfortunately, we don't understand this is how colonialism came. Now we talk about independence, but are we free? We are free from the chains, but we are not free from the tales of suffrage and, the disadvantages many of us are suffering day after day. Some of us are prisoners of debts, online debts, from one date to another. We are unable to pay those debts because our businesses are on the knees. Some of us are on the chains of illnesses. We have people in our societies we cannot take to hospital because the economy is repelling against us. Some of us are in chains of political, situations, in that we always go for people just because they come from our societies. And this is one thing that when you listen to Pierre Lumumba talking, he's actually talking of this. Now, I think it's high time that the current society transforms and reasons out and goes just beyond what the leaders say. Let's proceed, listen more to Pierre Lumumba before we come back to SIFUNA. Actually, I don't understand the double speech in SIFUNA anymore. I'm lost, totally lost,
Trees, they are saying it was better while we waited.
And
it was better while we waited. There is a sense in which throughout the continent of Africa, there has been disappointment with leaders at all levels, so that when on the eve of independence, we wanted to come home, now that we regained independence, we never tire to see images of our young men and women dying in the Sahara, dying in the Mediterranean Sea, being humiliated at the embassies of the erstwhile colonizers as they seek to leave our countries and the continent. It was better while we waited, they say. Which begs the question, what happened and what is happening?
Yeah, so that is a popular speech from Pierre Lumumba, and it reminds of one thing. It was better while we waited. We waited for better leaders. Maybe 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. But now, what are we waiting for anymore? Majid Khan, welcome again. You were here yesterday. I remember you talking about Babu Owino. All right, so welcome to the house and thank you so much. Like the video. When you listen to that speech in reality, you understand why we are back in almost everything, why we are suffocating, why we are on our knees. And today I was so shocked to get to see SIFUNA revived. Is it? Do you call it reversing? He reversed the statement he put the other day. I just want to start with what he said today in comparison to what he said on 25th. 4 days have worked miracles. I don't know whether they are positive, or I don't know whether miracles are always positive or whatever. So it happens that our leaders are still selfish and are in to make sure that they do what they're gonna do to maintain their household. And now I begin to believe the narrative that SIFUNA had asked for 300 million shillings to be in the broad-based government. I now begin to believe, because I don't know why the change of events in a very short period. Let's get to see SIFUNA and hear what he said today. And we'll be going back to what he said the other day. So thank you so much for the 2 likes. I really appreciate your presence here. This is a very, almost 10, and we'll be just taking maybe 30 minutes here. So I'm left with about 21 minutes. All right. So let's get to SIFUNA talking the other day. Today, this is what he had to say. amidst Raila Odinga and the gang of ODM members standing behind and beside. Wanga was there, Gladys Wanga. All right.
Work with the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Let's start from here.
Vote for the broad-based government. Review the state of the nation, current developments in the party, in particular the MOU with UDA, and support for the broad-based government. After frank and open deliberations, the committee adopted the following resolutions as the party's collective message to members and to the country. Number one, that the party supports the position that has been taken by party leader Honorable Raila Odinga to work with the Kenya Kwanza administration to stabilize the country and create an enabling environment for Kenyans to address their concerns through democratic and constitutional means. Number two, that in order to expedite the implementation of the 10-point agenda of the MOU, ODM will constitute a technical team to work with our UDA counterparts as part of the political infrastructure to assist with the implementation of the agreement. The committee has identified the absence of such a technical committee, which is actually contained in the MOU, as the missing link in the implementation of the MOU. Of great concern is the full implementation of the NADCO report, promotion and protection of the livelihoods of young people, the right to peaceful assembly and protest, the rule of law and constitutionalism, corruption and wastage of public resources. Thirdly, that while the party acknowledges the allocation of 415 billion to counties in the previous financial year as an improvement on the previous disbursement, we will continue pushing for the raising of the allocation to a minimum 450 billion Kenya shillings or more, as had been proposed by party leader. Does this change your position? What is different? The position of the party, which is against your own position. Now, the position of the party, as the party leader has ably explained before, is taken after organs or meetings of the organs of the party. And this is now the position of the party. Yes, that we will be making sure that we put together a team that can ensure that we implement the MOU that we signed with UDA. How is that different from SIFUNA's position? Let's have another question, please. Let's not do Mushene. Yes? Across the country, we want to know whether this central management commission today has literally now got all the voices so that the party speaks in one voice with regard to the broad-based government. Yeah, so that I don't put in my own words, allow me to read you the last paragraph again. I think we have addressed that little. You should pay attention to these things. We have said that while members arrived here with different viewpoints on many issues within the party and the country, the committee has managed to broker an unbreakable unity of purpose in the party and a single-minded focus on ensuring that ODM continues to be a loyal servant of the people and the country, acting in the best interest of its supporters and the nation, and committed to the agenda of national transformation and stability. That is now the position.
Hey, Humechin, big up to you. Majid Han, big up to you. Thank you so much. Now, I was paying attention to that speech, and that is why I was not giving a big up, but big up to you, Humechin, big up to you, Majid Han, and thank you so much for your support and your presence here on this channel. So, Life Saga TV community wonders. Sifuna now speaks and dismisses the journalists. He does not want even to be asked questions. He in fact said that he does not want to operate on Mushane. Mushane in Kenya means rumors or gossip. You know, he came up saying that his stand is not different from what he had said earlier. But everybody knows for sure that when he went to the Citizen, was it Citizen or KTN? He clearly told the presenter that if they force him to work alongside Kenya Kwanza, he will be resigning. He said that ODM have led down citizens, and they are going to correct that by reconstituting as a party and then working their way through the 2027 elections. Now, what has changed? Did they see the pressure coming up so much with Sudi saying, let them go wherever they go? Did they see the pressure too much and realize that the cake was about to get off their hands? Or what exactly has changed, you know? And that is why sometimes I say, as we look at these people pretending to be representing the citizens, I normally laugh at it and remind people that be sure nobody's representing us. These people are representing their own houses, their own welfares, their own stomachs. And actually, ODM realized that if they walk away from the government currently, the government has nothing to lose. And they have already lost their face in many places in Kenya. So they had to just to retrieve and go back to the government. And in fact, somebody was suggesting that if they are going to continue working together up to 2027, it's possible that Sifuna will be pulled out as the deputy president and Kindiki will be pushed aside. And that is why Kindiki even recently was doubting whether he can be in government. He was asking that, nitakuwa kweli kwa ile government ya Ruto? Nitakuwa kweli kwa ile two term, you know? He was asking that. Now let's go back and see what he said recently. I want you to see the two faces of Sifuna in this meeting and the other. And I would wish also to play the studio, but I won't play the studio one. Now let's go back to the other event recently. Hey, advancements in air. All right.
For joining us on thought on this particular
What the hell is this?
One among the demands is the crisis in Kenya. This meeting is happening at a most difficult time for our country, given all that has happened in the last few weeks. We are acutely aware that many families are still in mourning, having lost their loved ones, with civil society groups estimating that over 30 young Kenyans fell to the regime bullets in the course of the street protests. Many of these families are yet to bury these victims. On behalf of the entire ODM party, the Central Committee extends its deepest condolences to all those who have lost their loved ones and pray that God will comfort them in this time of tragedy. We also know that many were injured and some are still in hospital. We wish all of them quick recovery. We are in the Kenyan youth who, through their unity of purpose, have stood with their fallen colleagues and raised vast sums of money in very short times to pay hospital bills for the injured. As a mass movement that has been on this journey of true liberation for a long time, we know how difficult it is to achieve some of the things that we have seen you do. You have absolutely earned our respect as a party and visible. The abuse of police power in the deployment of violent suppression techniques on innocent and armed protesters. Our position is that no one has to die in exercise of the rights under Article 37. We further condemn the ongoing arbitrary abductions of innocent Kenyans. These two institutions must have an honest introspection on their contribution to our current predicament and take measures to lessen the taxpayers' burden. As a party funded by taxpayers ourselves, we will also be taking steps to scale down on our presence across the country and some of our activities to reflect this new economic reality. Lastly, that ODM shall initiate and lead recall processes in the following constituencies in light of the current office holders' repeated violation of their sacred oath and the wishes of their electorate. Number 1, Game constituency. Number 2, Bondo constituency. Number 3, Nabaholo constituency. Number 4, Kajiado Central. Number 5, Ikolomani.
All right. There's a blackout that has just happened, guys, and I don't have an option rather than stay in the dark and continue with my live stream just for some few minutes, because we are supposed to be here for about 30 minutes and we are remaining with about 11. So guys, you saw that out of Sifuna, right? And the reality is that he was actually playing tactics on Kenyans, you know, because that was what he said then, just 3 days ago. Now he comes up with a different statement, you know. We can't understand them anymore. Now let's move to Murkomen's visit to Natembeya. And before that, Before that, we can listen to this guy here. Oh, back. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The lights are back. Hey, blackout. Is blackout indeed. Yeah. So guys, you remember the singer who sang this song, Raila Tibim, Tibim, Raila Tibim, Tibim, Raila Tibim, Tibim, Chalala, Chalala. Do you remember that singer? This guy has just come up with another narrative addressing Murkomen and Ruto. Let's listen to this. This guy here. Cyrus Mweresa.
If I were Ruto, if I could have been one of the advisors were Dr. William Ruto, ningekuwa advise, don't even vie in 2027. You'll be wasting a lot of money, but you're going nowhere. You can't win in Kenya anymore. No trust. Ulidanganya boda boda, ulidanganya wamama mboga, ulidanganya makanga na madereva, ulidanganya wanafunzi, ulidanganya wamama ya kwamba utawalinda, ukatawalinda mama, ulidanganya wakulima, ulidanganya walimu, ulidanganya mapolisi ambao sasa unatumia kupiga wa Kenya, ulidanganya madaktari. Civil servants wanakatwa pesa usijue inaenda wapi. You're going home. You can't win any election in Kenya. And for that sake, kindly, I can advise you, my good brother, Dr. William Samuel, don't fight in 2027. It will.
All right. So this is a singer. And if you ever listen to everybody else, I don't know why people have this aspect of don't buy. Do you think Ruto will not buy? And he has all the support from ODM. There is something cooking around ODM and Kenya Kwanza, and that for sure something is going to unveil very soon, because everybody else is thirsty for power. Gladys Wanga has been making a lot of noise, Mbadi has been making a lot of noise, and many other people in ODM. The entire reason why they have been making noise is they are afraid they are going to be in the cold again. And anyone who has been in ODM for long, I think they have seen the cold for the longest time possible, and therefore they are not ready to go into that cold. Yeah? Just like you had Oparanya saying, the sweet is in his mouth. The sweet is in his mouth. And he cannot make noise when the sweet is in his mouth, right? Now let's get to Natembeya. Now Natembeya received visitors over the weekend. Is it weekend or yesterday? Natembeya received visitors in his office. So let's just get to that. And Murkomen. Murkomen was right there. So let's just see. Let's take the show with us. And of course, you remember, guys, if you watched those videos when Natembeya was embedded in Kitale and then later on taken to court, and then he was smiling as the judgment was being passed, and he went back. In fact, his offices were closed down, and he was told he would operate as a governor, but not from his office. I don't know even when did he have a freedom to actually continue to do what he wanna do. Now let's check on this. This is the video, Natembeya being visited by Murkomen. Right in the office. There Natembeya goes. Murkomen there goes. Hey, it is what it is. Politicians and political analysts understand this in the house, you know. This visitation is not for nothing. Now, there has been a story going around that Natembeya is being offered 45 billion Kenyan shillings. How true it is, I don't know. Somebody says how true it is, I know not. If you go back to the archaic English in William Shakespeare's books, what the visit was for, I know not. But then there are some allegations going around that possibly Natembeya was being visited by Murkomen and was being offered a cake so that he goes into the government, that he vies as the deputy president, you know, supporting or standing behind Ruto. What do you think? Apit, hey, Aputipit, hey, I can't read that name. Thank you. Hello, I'm very fine. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Thank you for your support here. You can like the video, subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed, and watch my videos, guys. I'm really struggling night and day, and I'm really longing to have the many subscribers here also seeing my videos being watched greatly. That's my dream come true. So if you get a time, Kume, Shin, Majid, Khan, Aptip, and any other person, I actually pledge with you and request you to watch my videos, share my videos, you know, like them. And just, you can even just put on, if you have like a router somewhere or bundles, just play it for entertainment purposes and informational purposes and educational purposes, and let the hours accumulate, guys. Let the subscription also grow so that I don't just keep coming here for nothing, but I do it for a goal. So thank you guys for supporting me. Now, so this visitation, they always say mgeni akija mwenyeji hupona. So you can actually see how Murkomen was advancing and, you know, moving all over the places, perambulating, perambulating the office, right? They stood by the window, whatever they were looking at, I don't know. But we actually heard some people saying that it is possible that it was a clear agreement. Shakila Masala, big up to you. Thank you so much for coming here at this. I'm doing this live stream at an ungodly hour. In Kenya, it's almost 10-12 p.m. The time many people are sleeping now, but I really appreciate your presence. I know it's a sacrifice. It's not easy to come on somebody's live stream right now and support them. So thank you so much for coming. Shakila Masala, Aptipt, Humeshin, and Majid Gan, and any other person. So they always say that when a visitor comes, the owner of the home benefits. And so from the minds of Kenyans, because we've actually been seeing the government talking about they want to have dialogues. They want to have dialogues. You saw even I did a reaction on that earlier. So when the government says they want to have dialogue, we began asking, whom do they want to have a dialogue with? After all, they're already with ODM. But it seems clearly that up to now, Because after all, Gachagua is making a lot of noise, but there is high possibility he cannot vie for presidential seat because of this impeachment. That one, I'm almost 90% sure that he might not vie. But Matiang'i will go in for it. And we are also seeing maybe Natembeya. I don't know whether he'll join. We are seeing Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka, of course, was next to Raila Odinga. I don't know how comes they have left him, but he was playing hard to get. Remember, they were saying that they are going to dialogue, and he said he's not available. The number you are calling, the number you are calling is not available. So that is what Kalonzo Musyoka told them, right? Okay, Shakila Masala, I'm very fine. I had already actually greeted. Maybe you didn't get it. So Shakila Masala, I'm very fine. Thank you so much for being here. Big up to you. I really big up to you. One love, right? Yeah, so Wagwan. If there is anybody from Jamaica, one love, Wagwan. And I hope I'm Ire. I'm just struggling to meet a goal, and I hope that you'll support me in this. So guys, when you look at Kalonzo Musyoka, he said his number is not available. When you look at Matiang'i, he's playing tough, but he's only holding Kisii and which other place, you know? Gachagua, on the other hand, even though he's impressing everybody as cousin, brother, and cousin, brother, and shemagis, but the viability into politics, I don't know whether he qualifies to vie, because even though he himself said that regardless of being impeached, he's allowed to vie, that may be decided by IEBC, you know. Now, whom do we remain with? We remain with Eugene Wamalwa. We remain with Natembeya. We have Omutata Okia. We have this other guy who was working with the president before he resigned. I forgot his name, forgive me. Now, what happens is, now the government will actually hunt for people like Natembeya. They'll definitely go for him because he looks like he talks for Kenya. And I want to give you an example of why he seems to be talking for a region in Kenya and as well touching other Kenyans. Remember, he was in police force, right? An IG, was he an IG or regional? Yeah, so let's get to it.
Hizo kazi sio mbaya, lakini nataka jamii nyingine pia tusaidie ama namna gani? Pia sisi kwa managing directors, tukue general managers, tukue chairman. Jambo la pili, sisi kama jamii tumeleta down wa Kenya. Tumekubali jamii mbili kuwa na president miaka yote Mkikuyu ama Mkalenjin. Watoto wa Kenya wakizaliwa wanaamini usipokuwa Mkikuyu au Mkalenjin huwezi kuwa rais wa Kenya. Wakati huu nafasi ya Mluya kuvunja hiyo laana ili baadaye hata Masai akuweko rais ama namna gani? Hata Mbajuni akuweko rais ama namna gani? Na mimi najua wakati Mluya anakuwa rais wa Kenya, mambo itakuwa sambamba. Mambo itakuwa sawa sawa. Efwefu urukilangalisa afu. Saurukilangezi mbotawe. Saurukilangalisa sitawe. Efwe bantu bekumulembe, si ndio? Sasa watu wetu wa Malava, sisi tumepangwa siasa kwa miaka mingi sana. Iko mwanaume mwingine baada ya Malulu kufariki ameishi hapa Malava kila siku anasomea sisi.
Now you actually understand that all weekend while Natembeya was actually bringing Malava to a standstill in Kakamega, ODM had just left, right? Now, whatever speech he gave was targeting to actually bring together more people so that they can stand with him in politics. He was talking about Farouk having dominated now this part because he just comes from Tarbo, and so he was doing a lot of injustice according to him. Now, I'm just thinking within my analysis, that the government looked at Natembeya and thought that even though they have tried to destabilize him, he is not like Morara. He is not like Morara Kebaso. This man was once a leader in the police force, and he did a lot at Masai Mara's sides, those sides and elsewhere. So they thought that this person touches not just the region of the Western, but more than that. He has gone to Bungoma, we saw with Gachagwa's team, and he made it. He came to Kitale, he made the country, of course he will go. Now, the sending of Murkomen to his office is actually political. That is my thought. Even though some people think that he went there maybe to consult on police force aspects because Murkomen has been messing about giving statements that were irrational, I don't think that would be the reason. Let's go back to the visitation first. Now, guys, when I woke up in the morning and went to work, people were like, hey, political leaders are never enemies forever. And they said, if Natembeya yesterday was visited by Murkomen, there is something else in politics. And I was like, who told you that they're enemies? These people are just, you know, when you're playing in a field, football, you always score against the other team. But in case you go to the next level and they place you in the same team, you will play just going to the same direction. The analogy goes even to the, let's say, the army. Even if you are a Kenyan and you get to the Sudanese army, representing Sudanese army, what will you do? You will shoot your brother, God. You will shoot your brother in as long as you are in the army and you are representing Sudanese army. If you come to fight in Kenya with Kenyans, you will be shooting your brother. So politics is gambling, and these people know how well to do it. They move our emotions as citizens. Sometimes you will cry for them, you will laugh for them, you will dance for them. But the reality is they meet behind our cameras. They meet in secrecy. They call each other because they are networks. They belong to one class, the class of leaders. Among these leaders also we have the class of the haves, those who have accumulated enough wealth and they have to protect their wealth. So the affluent are there, and those who, the have-nots are the citizens. So there is a party of the haves and have-nots. Now that is what most citizens don't know. If they knew, there would be no single day that people would fight in any way against each other, never. Because these people represent themselves, and most times when people are fighting, they are never anywhere to be seen. And even if they appear, like the way Raila used to appear, they would appear shortly, protected, and they disappear in the helicopters or the magic vehicles, while citizens are left fighting, killing each other, you know, creating force and enmity. So when Murkomen came to Governor Natembeya's office, a lot of people commented. Let's look at some of the comments, guys. Hey, Edachebo said Natembeya sat on the same side of the table as Murkomen, which shows respect, humility, and honor. That is a decent man, right? Let's go on. Sanaya said, thank you, Murkomen, for visiting the 6th President of the Republic of Kenya. Gilbert Vidolo said, this is protocol. He is rubbing movement properly. Let's not throw negative tantrums to our leader. He is okay and needs recognition as the new kingpin. He is smart and wiser. I can guarantee his followers trust Natembeya. Alonocheru said, there is something cooking. Tanzania Alto Montoi said, good job guys. Moffat Muridhi said, politics have no enemies. John Muthui said, Delila is looking for Natembeya. Mingjin said, what's going on? Minister Pakua alisema, si nilidhani Murkomen anatembea tu, kumbe anatembelea Natembeya. Ala. Kevin Nyongeza said, Western tuko chini kwa maendeleo. Edu said, kutembea haina shoda kwa governor. I think he wanted to say shida. Tobias said, now the rubber meets the road, right? So from the general feeling, people were surprised, right? They were quite surprised. Meanwhile, you've seen opposition leaders claiming that there is a plot to kill them. Let's watch this.
Choice and freedom to associate with whoever we associate ourselves with. And that freedom is fundamental, it is in our constitution. We also have a right to dissociate ourselves with anybody we feel we don't want to associate with. We have dissociated ourselves 100% with President William Ruto. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will take us back to William Ruto. And let me tell you, William Ruto, as long as a bullet has not gone through the members of this team that you are seeing here, we will still be there telling our people to chase you home. Because you are the worst accident that ever happened to this country. Electing you was a tragedy of monumental magnitude.
We want to call on the International Criminal Court to come and carrying out investigations, because our security agencies cannot be able to help us. They have been taken captive by William Ruto, Ndiki, the deputy president. Nobody doesn't know what Murkomen has said, and the ICC should note that we have no control over the police. DIG Lagat, after what he was accused of, he's back to work. So we can only call upon the international community.
By politicians. And the result we have that we will not stop talking what we need to say regarding our people. We will not go away.
As we were joining the main road coming from the church, we were ambushed by the police. Without our awareness, they started eating our cars. One particular police officer had a very big stone, and they eat the windscreen, so even the driver could not be able to see.
All right. So that is the opposition for you, right? That is Gachagwa's team, who are indicating that they are threatened. Meanwhile, do you know that Esther Passaris is almost being pushed out of the Nairobi woman rep position? If you didn't know, now you know. And meanwhile, there is a possibility that Kindiki will be pushed out of his position. And in fact, even for Natembeya, people are saying that if he was visited, they want him to come in as the deputy president. And then once he gets that position, they'll again impeach him. Because you've had allegations of him in corruption and all those sorts of things. And of course, now that he has already talked close to Gachagua, and Natembeya has already talked about lawyers and all that, he may also be actually associated to a chairperson, just like Gachagua was. Who knows? This is that is what happens in politics, the games of politics, right? So did Natembeya actually agree that he's going into this? Let's see. This is what he had to say, because now he has questions to answer.
Ambaye amekuwa kwa shughuli zake za kutembelea kaunti kwa programu anaitwa kwamba ilikuwa la usalama. Na mimi hata nilikuwa na safari ya kuja huku Nairobi kwa sababu ya hiyo incident. Lakini wakasema gavana jaribu kwa maana kuna masuala ambayo yanahusu national government. Na mimi naelewa protocol. Wakati kwa national government ile kitu ni protocol ambayo haina kwamba wakati senior national government official akwe president, akwe waziri, akwe PS, akwe nani ambaye anataka kuja kumwona governor, Kwanza anaenda pale wa county commissioner anapatiwa briefing, na mimi nilikuwa county commissioner, kwa hiyo mimi najua. Alafu county commissioner anamleta kwa governor to come and sign the visitors book. Ile mambo ambayo ilifanyika jana kwamba Murkomen alikuja kusign kitabu changu kile cha wageni na akasaini. So mambo kusema kwamba sijui natembea ameenda pande gani, wale watu walikuwa natarajia mimi nikiona Murkomen nitoroke kwa ofisi yangu ni happy, because definitely angeletwa pale nangoja kupata nani hapa gavana ametoroka sababu Murkomen anakuja Trans Nzoia. Hapana, mimi siwezi kutoroka. Natoroka kwa nini? Na alikuja nikamsalimia, yeye akaenda kwa shughuli zake, mimi nikaenda nikapanda ndege nikaja Nairobi. Msimamo wetu bado ni ule kwamba sisi tuko ule pande mwingine wa upinzani, tunataka kuleta mabadiliko katika.
Now guys, currently politicians are getting the hard time because they have to explain. They have to explicitly explain to the people what is happening. So when people are surprised on arrival in Nairobi, people had to ask Natembeya, why were you visited by Murkomen? Because now people, there is a lot of rumor already in air about what wants to happen. Now, before the camera, Natembeya said that he only waited upon him because that is protocol. And of course, obviously, when anybody visits the national office, he gets to the office of the governor, signs the visitor's book, and he wouldn't have run away. We hope so, because the rumors in air are that you received some baggage to let you join the government. So let's keep watching, because things will unravel with time if that is a lie. But if it's true that you are actually still standing in the opposition, we will see that. Not, we don't have a lot of time to wait. In fact, it's just within this time. So guys, we've taken already 47 minutes and I'll be finishing. Maybe if somebody has a question, you can ask so that I go sleep. I have to wake up early and go on with the duty. Yep. So if there is anybody with a question in relation to what I've presented, or you have a wish, you think that I should actually cover certain topics or certain country, let me know. You can type in the comment section below, so that tomorrow I wake up having some task ahead of me, because it's a hard time and we have to keep hustling. For us to build a following, to build ours, actually we bang on you people. So Shakila Masala, if there is anything you want me to do, or a tip, or Humeshin, Mashid Khan, or anybody else, I really appreciate and look forward to you typing in the comment section. I thank you for the 3 likes. I don't know why some people could not give likes, but I'm so happy for those which I received. And I also appreciate for your time. This is a very ungodly hour for those who are in countries like Kenya. It's already night, and of course tomorrow is still work day. So thank you so much, and let's meet tomorrow. Adios.